All right, that's cool. Let's do it. I'm from Hollywood, California. Hi, my name is Wayne White, and I live in Los Angeles, California. And I'm originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I've worn many hats in my career. I started off as a cartoonist and an illustrator, and I became a puppeteer and a set designer, then an art director, an animator, object builder, and now I'm a painter and an installation artist. I'm here at the Taubman Museum of Art in Roanoke, Virginia, to create my greatest and my largest piece yet called Big Lick Boom, about the history of Roanoke in 1880s when it became a town, when it was a boom town. And I wanted to create this explosion motif in the middle of the room out of buildings and other forms. And it's basically 5 or 6 sections, starting here with the Roanoke Machine Works building, which is an important symbol of that era because that's when steam locomotive and train car production came to town and heavy industry, and that was a big part of the economy. And next around the corner is an 1884 building. This is the sign of the sophistication of downtown Roanoke and the 4 or 5-story brick buildings that popped up all of a sudden. And at the top of the building is 2 prostitutes, which kind of represents the wide open nature of the society then, and kind of the opportunism and the lust and the power of the whole thing. Then around the corner is the old Rorer Theater, R-O-R-E-R, Rorer. That's where a fight is broken out during a production of Hamlet, and there's a giant cartoon fight wheel spinning. Next around is a row of saloons, and it's jutting out of the explosion motif. Saloons, a very big part of the rough-ass railroad town this place was in the 1880s. Lots of saloons, of course, they were everywhere then to serve all the thirsty railroad workers and machine shop workers. Next, of course, is the steam locomotive. You gotta have a steam locomotive if you're talking about Roanoke. That's literally the machine that built this town. And it's, again, crazily exploding out of this cluster. I'm trying to hope it looms over the viewer. I'm trying to get it some sort of sense of power and, again, threat to the viewer, almost like this machine is jumping out at you or you're being literally run over by this train, which happened a lot in early Roanoke, lots of train injuries. So that's another visceral, visual kind of thing I want to happen, like you're being threatened by these forms. And it was a very threatening, crazy, dangerous, violent time. And then around the corner from that is one of the railroad barons who's puppeteering a life-size railroad cop or a railroad bull. And that kind of represents the power structure of the era. And I'm sure these rich industrialists from the north came down here and kind of ruled with an iron fist and established the first law and order in the town with their railroad cops. And kind of that represents them as the master puppeteer of government and law in the early Roanoke. Narrative is always on my mind too, telling a story. That's really that's why I came back to cartooning after 5 or 6 years of wanting to be a painter as an art student and a couple of years after school. I wanted to tell stories again. And it's tradition of storytelling. I love to read. I'm from the South, which is, of course, a big storytelling region. And who doesn't like a good story? I mean, come on, man. It's a cinch. You know, if you can tell a good story, you've got an audience. So it's just good business to tell a good story, you know. It keeps the lines of communication open. It's the only way to express being human is to tell a story. I've had a strange career in that I do these public works like this that entertain people and are fun and are definitely about entertainment, but I also do work that's collected in the fine art world, and I like to think is collected by sophisticated art collectors, and I'm in some pretty nice collections. So I've been high and low, and I don't try to worry about the distinction, you know. If I did, then I would just get self-conscious and stiff. I just let it fly, you know. I've been lucky enough to have been understood by both camps. That again could be debated, you know. Some people think I'm too low, you know, but I understand both worlds. I've spent my life reading books about the history of both worlds and living in both worlds, and it just kind of comes naturally to me to entertain in my art. But that was the whole point of this piece, was to engage the town. That's what Leah Stoddard, the curator, wanted to do. She wanted to relate to Roanoke. And so, yes, that was on my mind right away. And I have a huge populist streak myself. I like to entertain. I like to draw. I like to have as big a tent as possible, especially when I'm working on this scale, you know. I like to think that this will bring people into an art museum who've never been into an art museum before. And I guarantee you that type of person will enjoy this. They will like it. They will find things to like. And the sophisticated art viewer will find things to like. I appeal to both. That's the trick I try to pull off. So yes, the circus has come to town. You know, this is my circus. This is my gift to Roanoke for the whole town, not just art lovers or sophisticates, you know. This is my piece of entertainment. And hopefully, maybe some kind of weird germ will get into some little kid's head and say, oh yeah, that was entertaining, it was art too, and it looks like that painting, and it'll open doors. This is my theme park inside the museum. It literally has a train track around it, just like Disneyland, with a train that hopefully runs twice a day. Yeah, this is my funhouse theme park for the whole of Roanoke, for the whole county, for the whole of Western Virginia. Come check it out, you know.